I talked about how our apprenticeship numbers are dwindling and why. And there's a very pro business side of apprenticeships and wages and time lengths, etc., which are 100% viable for a business. But ultimately, if they're not attracting, our youth, then it doesn't really matter because they're not going to fulfill that job role. So at Tony and Guy, we have 180 apprentices approximately come through every year. Now, this figure used to be 300 plus, and it's dwindled, and as we approach this coming years, coming into September, our applicants, again, they have dropped now to say like 160, 150. Okay, which we could see a little resurgence, as it comes over the summer months and, they decide to change their mind. But ultimately, it's dwindling. Now, I changed the way that we do our apprenticeship training here at Tony and Guy. It used to be the old school model nights, model mornings. Yeah, you finish a day, you get a model in, and you're taken through a haircut. The problem with that is that you've done a whole day's work. Then you've got to do, a trainer who's also been fully booked all day. You've got an apprentice who's been busy all day. And then you're training until 10 o'clock plus. And, I said it before, is that you can't sit on your laurels of, well, that's what I used to do. Yeah, because that doesn't work anymore. Plus, also, if a client walked in, they'll take a client and your training would get interrupted by the trainer going to do the client or pulled away from their model to go and do a shampoo, etc., etc. So what I did is I pulled our apprentices away from the salon, and we're fortunate enough to have an academy here in New Oxford Street in London. It's our flagship academy, and we've got 4 floors of education plus our studio on the top. And we run everything from a beginner's course all the way through to our own internal pre-vardering and vardering, our classic courses, our salon foundation courses, our editorial courses, all the way up to creatives. So what I did is brought in our apprentices 1 day a week to do their training here. So they've got 20% of their working week here in the academy, totally dedicated to themselves. So they do a model in the morning, model in the afternoon, 2 models a day. There's no interruptions. They're taught by the international artistic team, and they don't only do their hair professional training, but they also do the extracurricular Tony and Guy editions over on top of that. But they're also in an environment where there is a creative course going on. And if a model didn't turn up, for instance, they're not just sitting there twiddling their thumbs. We'll go and put them in another class. Or if we've got a shoot going on, we'll take them on a tour, bring them up to the studio, show them what we're up to. Look, you're the first ones to see this. It's going to be launched next January.
Is that for your London apprentices then, Cos? Is this the apprentices in London?
So basically, they come from just out of the sort of M25. It's pretty much up to a 45-minute train journey to come here. So of our 150 apprentices, we do 100 of them here at the academy.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what? But would again? I hope you don't mind me asking these questions. If they're wrong questions, please say. Do they have to fund that travel element to get into the academy?
Personally, they don't. But the particular salon that they're coming from, funds that. But we've also got to remember is that, through the apprenticeship program, there is also funding available. you know, that
That's right.
come
So,
from
which
that.
is there to support
And
apprentices.
you've got to use that to subsidise all of this. It's not
Correct.
about putting it in your pocket,
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
know.
Which,
So
unfortunately, you do hear too much of that. It's there to give young apprentices an amazing opportunity. I think that is a fantastic idea. Are you noticing a difference to the quality?
we have noticed a difference because we've been doing this now for coming up to 8 years. So this isn't a new thing that we've just implemented. So what happened is that we've got our apprenticeship, then we've got our vardering. So our vardering is our finishing school. It's the transition between apprenticeship and becoming qualified. Now, this is the part, for instance, coming from college, where we have that skill gap level, or that skill gap, where they come out of college, go for an interview in a salon, and they're not taken on. Yeah, because they've got that gap there of not being ready. And this is what disheartens a lot of our finished apprentices, and they leave the industry. So what I'm trying to do here is to bridge that skill gap. So the way we had it before, when they were doing their model nights, one model a week, and doing their model nights, is when they came to VADA, they weren't ready. So this way, we're nurturing them now and mentoring them for the 2 years, 18 months to 24 months. And then we're also adding that extracurricular TONI&GUY part of it for that skill gap. And then they can also transition straight into vardering and then straight onto the floor and start earning some money.
Cool. And what about